Johnson here. Happy Sunday morning from Union Square. And right now, you see behind me, the selfie mode. I'm on an iPhone SE 2020, so thank God for iPhone is that you're allowed to go horizontal, unlike unlike the unlike Android, you can only go vertical. So I'm flipping over right now. So right now, in about 30 minutes, there's going to be a rally here at this plaza because on the other side, they usually will do this like on 4th and 14th. At the front of the park, there's a holiday market, so you're only allowed to do your rallies and press conferences to be more smart and not be accused of blocking pedestrian traffic or egress. You only do it here on the plaza. The one thing about it that they know, like the Union Square Partnership, knows that to never ever turn this plaza into something that the lobbies want, because what's happening here today at 12 o'clock. Now we see right here, guys, is you have these members of the DSA, a lot of rank and files. I think they're the safety marshals for today's rally. Those are safety marshals. They get a safety marshal training. Safety marshals basically are people that make sure that people there are safe. People, counter protesters don't harass like members of the speakers and etc. So that's what they are. Those are safety marshals and shit like that. They don't have cops here. They're going to have cops here, but these guys, they don't believe in cops. So, but today there's a rally at 12 o'clock. This 12 o'clock, and it's going to be about taxing the rich, right? So taxing the rich, basically, there's a bill that's now been introduced in the state assembly, state senate. I think it's via Salazar, state senator, who serves Bushwick in Cypress Hills, and the state assembly member Farrah Sufan Forrest, which serves Fort Greene and Prospect Heights, and a little bit of Copy Hill, and a little bit of Crown Heights, and a little bit of Bed-Stuy. They introduced a bill to where it's like if you make over $1 million a year, you have to pay more money in taxes because they believe that the rich should pay their fair share. Now, I want to make this clear that look, I agree with I agree with the fact that the billionaires, the people that make a lot of money, should pay more money in taxes. But the truth of the matter fact is that the bill is nothing but a publicity stunt. Because to keep it real, like we got next year, 2026, there's an election, right? There's a gubernatorial election next year, and there's a gubernatorial election, and basically in 26 there's a gubernatorial election. What's up, brother? There's a gubernatorial election, and Hochul is running against Delgado, right? Delgado, let me pay my Delgado. Delgado has no chance of winning that primary. He has no shot. Even if it's a one-on-one, he has no shot. Hochul is backed by the establishment. She's backed by the machine. The machine is going to easily give her the blessing to run in that primary without have to gather petitions. Delgado, on the other hand, have to gather petitions. Now, gathering petitions to the statewide race could be a big problem. I think here in New York City, you have to gather like 15,000 signatures. I think you have to gather a certain amount of signatures here in the city, and then you have to gather a certain amount of signatures in all the other regions of the state to get on the ballot. So to think that you're just going to gather all the signatures via New York City and get on the ballot, it's not going to happen. Now, what could happen during the petitioning time? Okay, he can be challenged, he can be sued. There's a lot that can happen to him getting knocked off the ballot. Now, when you're worrying about gathering petitions, it kills your time when you're trying to get the people to go to these doors and knock on the doors and go to certain these stakeholders all over the state and have a conversation with them to convince them to give you your support. So who have the advantage in that primary will be Hochul. Hochul's going to have advantage. Now, when it comes to taxing the rich in 26, I think that's going to be really impossible to accomplish because before that happens, I think Holt will lose her career before that happens because some of the rich people are really connected in politics. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of rich people in this that's live in the state of New York that are really connected in politics. Now, like I said, I will never defend the rich. That's not me. I don't defend the wealthy because the wealthy don't give a fuck about me. But the truth of the matter of fact is that there's a lot of powerful, wealthy people in the state that will do anything to make sure they don't pay not $1 extra to anything. We got people that have a problem paying $1 extra to a deliverista. Why do you think that it was pushing to remove the tip option? You know what I'm saying? Because people don't like paying tips. So look, at the end of the day, I support what they do right now, but it's just going to be impossible to really implement in the city. It's going to be really possible to implement in the city council and the state. I mean, the whole it might get the thing about Hochul is that she's under a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? She's getting desperate for the endorsement of Zohran Madani. This is my opinion, right, about that. Like, she's getting desperate for the support for Zohran Madani because she knows that if Zohran Madani endorses her opponent, Delgado, he might pull up by margin. And once you got to stand that, Delgado's going to get the Working Families Party endorsement. And he's going to get the ballot for Working Families Party. Now, if Madani was to endorse Delgado, I think Hochul was screwed. Hochul was really screwed. A lot of people that got him in Manhattan will back up Delgado, and right there, that's Ian Huntley's campaign manager right there. That's the Jewish chick. That's Ian Huntley's campaign manager. So what's happening right now, and there's another thing that's happening right now, is that look, at 12 o'clock, there's going to be a rally. We'll hear all these nonprofits, all these organizations like Investor on New York and UWA Region 9, Muslim Democratic Club of New York. There's many other organizations going to be here right now for 12 o'clock and rallying. But what's happening right now, what's going to happen is, look, this is my thing, right? And this will be my thing, is that, Ian Huntley is running for the state assembly in the 56th State Assembly District against Stefani Zinnerman, right? So 2024, Ian Huntley ran in the 56th State Assembly District against Stefani Zinnerman. One-on-one race. He almost won by like 400 votes. And I'm going to say this right now, the reason he lost was because not only he refused to stump NYCHA, he did not get the endorsement of CHIOSA. Now, I'm going to explain what happened to CHIOSA 2024, right? So there's a person right now that's running for state senate. He's running for state senate in the 25th State Senatorial District. His name is Marlon Rice, right? Marlon Rice is like technically the community affairs guy for the Restoration Plaza. Restoration Plaza is it's a building on the heart of Bed-Stuy. It's on Fulton Street, right, like 2 blocks from the what's this train station? North Street Avenue A station, and 3 stops from 3 blocks from the Kingston through C line, right? So it's on Restoration Plaza. It's basically like a big building, it's a big building that takes like the whole block, and that's basically what it is, Restoration Plaza. So he does community affairs for that. He does community affairs for the Restoration Plaza, and he's down with Zinnerman. So Zinnerman knew in 24 that if Osei was to endorse Ian Huntley would have got her ass voted out, right? So you know what she did? She got Marlon Rice to go talk to Osei and try to convince him don't fucking back up the other guy because he's gonna fucking destroy Bed-Stuy, blah blah blah. And Osei bucked in, and Osei didn't even give it to the race. So that's what happened. Now I felt bad because Huntley is a good guy. I think that Ian Huntley's a good guy with a great heart, and he cares, and he lost. So this time around, once you start finding out about certain things, Osei is now endorsing Ian Huntley for state assembly to go against Zinnerman. Now, my opinion about that is that, look, I think that Zinnerman has a shot of being kicked out of that state assembly, and I'm going to explain why, because Zinnerman is an asshole. I'll say it right now. She's a fucking asshole. She's fucking arrogant. She's a definition of a machine elected officials. She's just a fucking asshole. So now going forward, let's talk about another race right now. What's right here? We're in the 74th State Assembly District, and the 74th State Assembly District is right now is the race that in about 1 month, Mr. Harvey Epstein will be resigning from the State Assembly to be serving in the City Council in December. But I want to get my opinion about that right now, right? So let me explain what's going to happen in 25, right? I think that in 26, but I believe it's going to, late 25. What's going to happen is that Key Powers might be winning the special election. He's going to get the Democratic line, and he's going to win the special election. But that primary might sing a different tune. It might sing a different tune. Going forward, okay? But let's talk about another race, right? The 36. The 36 State Assembly District race, right? 36. My opinion about the 36 State Assembly race is that I think that Diane might actually win that race. She might actually win that shit. You know what I'm saying? Rana's running. I donate to her campaign. But you know what I mean? Diane might win because if Zohran, whoever Zohran says that he's going to endorse for that race, for that is going to really win everything because Zohran is the state assembly member. You know what I'm saying? Then finally, we're going to have the 75th states, 34th. I believe Brian's going to win that. Brian's going to win the 34th. And then the 75th, I mean, I'm looking at Danny Valdez right now. He's not coming up. I'm saying like as like a spectator, like a political thing. I think that Danny might actually pull it off because what's going to happen is Layla Loglisco is going to run, and then they might throw in another moderate Democrat in that race. And then we have two moderate Democrats that completely splits the vote. And what happens is it splits the vote. And then, you know, what happens is that, you know, the progressive come out on top, like what happened with Tony Simone. Tony was the only progressive in that race, and you had a lot of moderate Dems. They split the vote. You know what I mean? And Tony came out on top. So that's what it is. See what time is it now? 11:38. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's basically, you know, look, the DSA is right here. They have a tax the rich rally. You know what I mean? It's a lot of white folk. I mean, but it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bored. I mean, revolutionary communist. So fucking hilarious. So, well, the truth is that, what's up, man? Huh? I have no idea. No clue. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you have the revolutionary communists right there. But the truth is that socialism is nothing but a leeway to communism. People don't want to say. I mean, when people say communist, sometimes you got to stand that, like, people got to start really being real. Like, it's like, look, the thing about socialism is that socialism is like the kiddie version of communism. You know what I'm saying? What communism is? Basic communism is like, let's say you make $1 million a year, you got to give at least half of that money or 80% of that money to somebody that don't do shit. That's communism in a nutshell. It's like justification of being a parasite. That's what it is, being a communist. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to say that because people know you spout those ideologies, you're not gonna get any votes. But you got to call a spade a spade. And the problem with a lot of people is that there are people that refuse to call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? They refuse to call a spade a spade. And a spade is that communism is just giving a piece of, like, so you make $1, the law is that you have to give somebody like half your money. And if you don't, you're going to have to pay with criminal fines or prison or sometimes death. So that's communism in a nutshell. I mean, I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's the fucking truth. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to say anything, but it's the truth about communism. You know what I'm saying? Look, I don't agree with communism. I mean, but not the whole thing, but certain problems with comment, but the problem is that you got people that like they try to hide it. It's like with you know, and I think I said about Zohran Madani is that he's our mayor-elect. Zohran is our mayor-elect. He's our mayor-elect and shit like that. And I want to make this clear, right? Do I think that all his policies are going to go through in 26? No, it won't. It won't. The thing is that, look, there's a thing that is called universal health care, right? Universal child care, right? Now, that I agree with. I believe that, look, child care needs to be compensated in the city, but you got to find where to get the fucking money. That's the fucking problem. You have to find where you'll get the money from. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue. Another thing is, it's called free buses, right? The governor, the reason she against free buses is because the MTA is against free buses. You have a union, TW Local 100, that is against free buses. Because you know why? Because the TW Local 100 feel like, well, if this happens, we're gonna get assaulted. We're gonna get assaulted and shit like that. We're gonna get assaulted. Like, oh, we're gonna be assaulted more on the job. I said, look, yeah, you guys. Like I said on Friday, I said I ain't take shit back because it's gonna eventually happen. You know what I'm saying? You got in 26 or more, you guys will get assaulted on the job. But you know why? Because you have shitty leadership like John Chicharello, piece of shit, that doesn't want to change anything. He don't want to like fix bail reform, shit like that. He don't want to tell the governor to repeal bail reform and shit like that. He refuses to because he knows what happened to him. He knows what happened. You know what I'm saying? That he'll be kicked out of the TWU spot. Not my problem. But you could still put free buses and say even if you cancel free buses. Let's say they just dub it, right? Free buses automatically. They're gonna still be more assaults to these workers in the system in 26. But like I said, you know why? Because we got a state where the criminals feel more empowered to do what they do. They feel more empowered to do what they do, and nothing ever happens because these elected officials know, like these people know that the elected officials are down with this shit. It's fucking bullshit. So I'm about to log off here. I'm a little tired. About to log off, and take care. Later.